Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another very exciting episode of the Wrestilng Show. Joining us today is the most dominant force in the industry and one of the best wrestlers of any style. Women's, intergender, deathmatch, hardcore, you name it, because she is Masha Slamovich. Привет, Masha, как дела?
У нас все хорошо сегодня, как у вас?
Очень хорошо. That's all the Russian that I know. It's good to see you. Welcome.
Thank you. Hey, that's more Russian than most people can handle in a conversation with me.
That's right. It's lovely to have you. Thank you once again for being here. You're incredible, and everybody's talking about you. Everybody wants to see you perform because, watching you perform is a state of art. And just like I mentioned earlier during the intro, you are the very best at every single wrestling match type there is. Let it be women's, intergender, or even deathmatch. Now, talking about the upcoming match at Overdrive, we know that Jordynne Grace has picked a last knockout standing match for you guys. So are you happy with this match type, or would you have picked a different match type for yourself?
I'd have to say my only thoughts are if Jordynne's completely crazy or only slightly losing her mind, because this is just one of my favorite playing fields. The more violence, the more pain I can inflict on her, I think it's going to be a very good environment for me. And I can't say the same for her.
Okay, so what is it about violence and about, these hardcore, that kind of matches that, appeals to you so much?
I think I thoroughly enjoy just letting go and following my intuition. And, once I get in there and once I see red, that's it. It's over for the other person.
I like that. Just you and the way you carry yourself, that poster behind you that says catch death, you realize that, everything about you, it intimidates a lot of people. It instills this fear in a lot of people, let it be fans or let it be the Impact Wrestling roster. How do you feel about instilling this fear into the minds and the hearts of your co-workers at Impact?
It certainly pleases me. As the old conversation goes, would you rather be loved or hated? It would rather be feared is the real answer. And I think I do a very good job of getting that reaction from those I come across.
You certainly do. Now, she doesn't show it, but do you feel that deep down, Jordynne Grace also fears you?
I think Jordynne isn't as tough as she claims. I think behind that mask, behind the face that she puts on and the words that she says, deep inside, she fears me and she knows that one of us is better than the other and it's not her on top. I think the mind games, I think all of it is really getting to her. She says it's not, but I think the real answer is going to come at Overdrive once we get in there and there are no rules.
You definitely are very good with your mind games and everything that you do in the ring. Have you been able to spot any weak point, any weakness in Jordynne Grace so far?
I don't need a weak point. That would just be taking it easy. It would be almost cheating myself of the experience. I think I'm looking to start fresh, and I think I'm looking just to start off face to face. Give me a fight. I want to look into her eyes as the count goes to 10 and she's beneath me.
I love that. Now at Bound for Glory, you almost seemed like you had the championship, you had the title, you were not giving up. Instead, you gave Jordynne Grace perhaps the toughest fight that she's ever fought. Still, you could not get the job done. So what went wrong at Bound for Glory?
I think we all need to stop focusing on one particular night in the entirety of my Impact career and move on from discussing the one loss compared to so many victories. It seems like you're dwelling on what you want to dwell on.
That's right. I can agree with that. So Bound for Glory is over, and we did not really see or hear much from you, ever since then, until at least recently when you showed up and attacked Grace from behind, sending across a very clear message. So if I may, I'd like to know, where were you all this time? Were you strategizing for your next move, your next match? What were you doing all this time after Bound for Glory?
Don't you think if I wanted everybody to know, it would be public knowledge? I don't think anybody who hasn't been in this situation, who hasn't been on this streak with these matches, would understand, and I don't think it's any of their business. Frankly, I came back and I did what I had to do. There's no speaking, no discussing necessary. Action speaks louder than words. And that's going to continue to be the case.
Okay. All right. Now, after, of course, your attack on Jordynne Grace, she called you out. She called you out for not confronting her face to face, not asking for a match like a real woman should, but instead blindsiding her, attacking her from behind. How do you respond to that?
Well, that would be very simple. I do what I want. And not everything I do needs a real explanation or everybody else's understanding. Understanding will come later on once I reach my end goal.
Okay. All right. Now, as we already talked about this before, this is the last knockout standing match. Anything goes. Anybody can come in. There's no disqualification. Any weapons are allowed. Considering, your expertise with these kind of matches, with the death matches, hardcore matches, and your apparent friendship with Max the Impaler and whatnot, is there anything that you could be doing? Anything that anybody that could be walking into this match? What is the strategy? What is your backup plan for this match itself?
There is no backup plan. The only plan is coming out victorious. And I think with the stipulation in mind, I'm going to have a lot of fun. And no one has any idea what to expect or what I could pull out.
That's right. So, what about the weapons? Jordynne Grace did mention that you want weapons. That's why she's going to give you this match that allows weapons. So, what weapons do you have in mind when it comes to this match that you're definitely going to be using on Grace?
Well, I think for that, you're just going to have to tune into Overdrive on Friday and find out.
Okay, all right. Now, if you become champion, you're a woman of mystery, you're a mysterious woman. Hard to get answers out of you. But if you become champion, is there any name that comes to your mind instantly that you'd be more than happy to give a title shot to? Any dream match out there that you'd like to fulfill?
First of all, it's not if, it's when. And the when is only a few days away. Now, when I win that championship, I'll be ready to defend it against anybody of any gender across the
Mhm.
world at any place. All
Okay.
you've got to do is make yourself known.
All right. Sounds like you're going to be a fighting champion. So, how would you like your championship reign to be? Would you like it to be destructive? Would you like for it to be inspirational, or perhaps something else?
Why not a mix of both? Why not be so destructive that it's inspiring?
You think that destruction can be inspirational?
I certainly think so. I think the human nature is drawn to destruction, violence, and such. And if you really dig deep and just let yourself be without any of those constructs that we have, you'll
Mhm.
discover that within yourself. Let me be the inspiration that shows the world the true human self.
All right. Okay, I can respect that. Now, we know that the longest anyone has ever held the Impact Knockouts Championship was Taya Valkyrie at 377 days. Now, I want you to pick a number of days that you think your title reign, if you win, or when you win, at this upcoming Overdrive pay-per-view, how long will your championship reign last?
It'll last exactly as long as I want it to.
Okay. And do you plan on becoming the longest reigning champion ever?
I don't see why that would be a goal that I wouldn't want to achieve.
All right, sweet. Okay. Now, of course, Overdrive is a stacked show. There's so much happening, apart from this match itself. There's a lot of other matches happening, and I know that you're a woman of mystery, but let's play a little game here, a game of predictions, and let's try to predict the winner of every single match at Overdrive. So, are you ready for it, Masha?
Sure.
All right, so first we have the Dead Dolls, and they are taking on Savannah Evans and Tasha Steeles in a tag team match for the Impact Knockouts World Tag Team titles. Which team do you think is going to reign supreme at Overdrive?
Let's go with the Death Dolls for this one.
Okay, and would you ever like to pursue the Impact Knockouts World Tag Team titles in the future?
That's going to be a discussion for a later point in time. Right now, I'm focused on only one thing.
All right, I like that. Yeah, I love that. All right, coming up next, it is Heath Slater and Rhino versus Brian Myers and Matt Cardona for the Impact World Tag Team titles.
This one really sounds like it can go either way, but I'm going to have to choose Brian Myers' team for this one.
You're right. Okay, I love it. Is there somebody that you abducted? What's going on in the background? I can hear some noise.
I believe my dog is causing some destruction.
All right. Okay, sweet. All right, moving on. We've got Black Taurus versus Trey Miguel. This is the tournament final for the vacant X Division title. Who's going to reign supreme when it comes to this one?
This is another one where I'm not really sure who can win. Let's say 50-50 on this one. Keep it interesting.
All right, and then we have, of course, Bully Ray versus Moose in a tables match.
I think Moose has become a favorite with the tables recently, so I'm going to give Moose this one. You know, if you like the tables, eventually they're going to like you back.
All right, and you mentioned that you're not afraid of, facing wrestler of any gender whatsoever if you become champion. Would Moose be somebody that you'd be willing to step against in the future?
I think the real question is, does Moose want to step in the ring with me?
That's right.
Especially in a match filled with weapons? I don't know if that's going to be his favorite idea.
You're right. You make a good point right there. Then we have Mickie James versus Taylor Wilde in a career-threatening match. Do you want Mickie James' career to be over, or do you want to be yourself, the person who ends your career?
I certainly think I would find pleasure in that. So there's my prediction.
So Mickie James should win. All right, sounds good. Okay, coming up next, we've got Josh Alexander, who's going to be taking on Frankie Kazarian, of course, for the Impact World title.
I'll say Frankie for this one.
Okay, and have you ever thought about this scenario where, you as a Knockouts champion challenges perhaps, the Impact World champion for their title and possibly unify the titles in the future? Have you ever thought of doing that?
Once again, I'm focused on one thing now. Everything step by step.
All right. Well, sounds good to me. And of course, in the end, we've got Jordynne Grace and Masha Slamovich in the last knockout standing title match, of course, for the knockouts title. I think there's no guesses here.
Exactly. See?
All right.
You're a wise man.
All right, perfect. Well, sounds good to me, and I am super excited about this match. And, I'm pretty sure the next time we catch up, you will be the Impact Knockouts champion.
I certainly think so as well.
Oh, definitely. Well, thank you so much, Masha, for your time. It was a pleasure talking to you, and hope to catch up soon with you. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, take care.